Hey everybody, welcome back to Life with the Masons. This video is going to be focused on talking about having multiple kids. As you guys know our story, we have been married for how many years? We've been married for 8 years, and this would be the 8th year coming up in November. And in 8 years, we've had 4 children, and it's been a whirlwind. It's been a journey, and we have had some interesting responses, things said to us, things asked of us, because one baby after another keeps coming. And so it's been a journey. And so this is one of the core things about our vlog we're doing here, that we want to show, hey, having multiple kids, yes, it's difficult, but it's also a tremendous blessing. So we want to talk about something that happened with us. I put out a tweet. I got on one morning, I was like, man, I'm gonna tweet this about having, multiple kids, and the response I get, and and just be open about it and say, well, in comparison to people who, because most of the responses we get are from Christians, right? So is this mentality that they have about abortion the same way as they do about large families? And so I'm gonna read my tweet. This is what it says. My wife and I just had our 4th child in 6 years. We get asked after every one of them, are y'all done? By everyone. The mentality is, first, you have too many. Not God is blessing your family. The same mentality that hates abortion seems oddly to also despise large families. Now, I put this tweet out, and it has 2,348 likes, 294 retweets, and 176 comments. Okay? So it got out there. It got out there, and I was actually shocked. I was surprised. I didn't know that was going to happen, but it got out there. And so what we're going to do, because I really got some interesting comments. We got some interesting comments in here. I want to go over a couple of those. One of the funny ones was a guy named Chad said, I got 3 and 4 years, and every time someone asks me, are you going to have another one? I just go ahead and tell them, we're going to try again tonight. And he hashtag be fruitful and multiply. I mean, hey, that's not that response. I mean, hey, it sounded like a good response to me. Another response we got from somebody named Krista was, my father-in-law freaked out when I was pregnant with my first, because we only been married 4 months. She said, I got 8 now, and people mostly stop with the questions after number 5. I guess we can't be reasoned with. So she's like, yeah, once we got to number 8, that was pretty, people stop asking. they stop asking. So hey, that works. Now this response right here is from a guy named Joel. He's kind of really getting more into the heart of what I was asking. Perhaps those questions and criticisms really come from the same cultural worldview that supports abortion, albeit from the Christian side. Different end of the spectrum, but same spectrum. The ethos is that autonomy is supreme and children are a heritage. Thoughts? And he asked for my thoughts. My reply was, that's exactly what I'm saying. A biblical worldview is rare even among professed Christians. And when the truth of God is presented on the topic, it is still shunned by most because the culture has done a great job indoctrinating us on how bad and inconvenient having kids is. And that's kind of was my point of what I was trying to get at the tweet. Both of us have ran into, and again, every Christian can have a different perspective on how they feel about having kids, because we're human beings. You can just feel a certain way, it's an issue or it's not or whatever. That's fine. At the end of the day, though, what do we all have to come back to? All of it. We say we follow Jesus, and this is nothing against anybody. If anything, we're looking at ourselves. If we say we follow Christ, then and if I'm living my life for Him, then I have to look at what is it that God says about this, not what my culture says, not what's easiest for me, not what makes sense to the people around us, but for us as followers of Christ, what would ultimately glorify Him.
I had to remind myself of that, because so many people that say something just kind of got me down in spirit. It's like, well, wow, I'm having these kids that God said that's a blessing. And they say He closed and opened up the womb. Do I need to go back and see what that means? And, so I had to regroup, get back in the word, see what it say. So when that comes up against me, I'll be able to know how to handle that person. Not every time I go somewhere, people say something, because people like you, your good mind, kids are a blessing, you're doing what God calls you to do. Every single time I go somewhere. So, it's not always bad, but you do have those people that you have to be aware of.
And that's a good point what she just said about when she goes out. So Shanae, stay-at-home mom, goes out with 3, now 4 kids by herself. She gets all kind of responses and comments from all different walks of life looking at her. And she comes home and tells me, it's like, what? And so I'm getting used to it now. But one of the majority of it is, your kids are so beautiful. Oh, you have such a, and then when we're all out, you have such a beautiful family. I mean, we get that all the time. You have such a beautiful family. Oh, your kids are so amazing. And we're just sitting there like, okay, we are doing that. We just like at Sam's or at the store or something. And it's like, okay, thanks. I get, but we get that all the time. And I think what people are seeing is they're seeing legacy. They're seeing family tree. They're seeing, the family unit as a whole. And when there's multiple little kids, it's something beautiful to behold, I think, just to the natural eye, and also just to human beings, because we all human beings want to be a part of a family, right? So I think that's what people are reflecting in, and of course that's God's standard. That's what God is described. It's not something we attain for. We didn't go in like, man, we finna have a large family, we finna go around not looking like we something great. This just happened.
That's what we want. We want when people see us, don't see us, see the glory of God. So everything that you see, it was His will. It's something that He ordained. We're just trying to live it out the best way that we can.
That's it. And so, and to add on to that, neither me nor Shanae were into contraception. That's out the question. We both used it in the past, in our past relationships before we got married. And it was a big issue spiritually and conviction wise for me. I'm not doing that when I get married. I made that decision. Like after I got done doing all my field, I was like, I'm getting married. I'm not finna stop whatever God want to do through me. So I'm not using no contraception. I was convicted about that. I think both of us were on the same page with that. They may be different from other marriages, other couples, but for us, we were like, that ain't happening. So no tube ties, no contraception, none of that. And one of the concerns that are brought up to us is finances. And we understand that. Have multiple kids, you gotta provide. But the reality is, again, going back to that, what does the word say? Are we trusting God about provision? And I think for us, it's like, you gotta think about it like this, right? We'll say, I trust God's word about something for a house or something for a car, a job. When it's something that benefits us directly, we're trusting God, praying to God, going to the Lord in faith. And you got some people who can't have kids, who are trusting God that He will open the womb and provide a child. But many of us, not in that condition, we'll trust God for everything else that's for us. But a child, I gotta give up self. I gotta give up time. I gotta give up, this. I gotta give up traveling. I gotta give up, going to school. I gotta give up so many different things. So yeah, we good. We're not trying to pray to God to help bring forth children. Whereas God says, that's not what I say. God says they are a blessing. And that's one of the verses that we have that talks about, that we kind of hold to. If God said they're a blessing and they're a heritage, then now you're thinking legacy. You get past you. See, and that's what we're trying to hold to that. Again, we're not putting down anybody else that don't want to hold to that. But for Christians, I believe that's the goal. And so that's our goal. We want to push towards that, and that's what we want to stay as a family. Again, with the finances, that's one of the things that we hear a lot of.
Yeah, and far as finances, with kid number 1, on to kid number 4, my husband has got an increase with each child. And matter of fact, number 4, there was multiple increases. So when we doing what's right and we're not kind of like thinking about ourselves, and we just trust in God and believe in Him, knowing that He said that kids are a blessing, be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. That's what we're on. And when He see that, I believe He honors that. And He shows us, hey, I'm with you. Continue to keep doing what you're doing. Because I believe there's a reason and a purpose for each child. And then, again, there's some mothers that can have kids. You may not can have kids. You can adopt, or you may adopt someone that, that's in need. So it's always a way to be in that mother figure. So we wanted to encourage people that can't have kids, that can't have kids, or whatever. There's always a way when you can be a mother to somebody. Psalms 127:3-5. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in one's youth. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. They will not be put to shame when they contend with their opponents in court.
There you go. I think it's one of the verses we like to stand upon, and we like to continue to keep our faith in. Again, we can believe God for all these other things, and we trust God for all the stuff to provide for all these other things we like to pray for. Why not children? Why not providing? Why not trust God? So that's something that for all of us and everybody who's watching this video, let's trust God about having multiple kids. Let's fill the earth and bring the legacy that God wants to have for Christians on the earth. Remember, salt and light. If we're going to be salt and light, if we're going to actually be the difference in the world, then we have to truly believe God and what His Word says about children, that they are blessings. And then when we have them, what do? We disciple them, we train them up, we show them how to live for God, we send them out into the world so they can be lights and also light and salt in the world. We just want to encourage all you guys who are married, don't be afraid to get busy. Okay? Let God do what God's going to do. God is faithful. All right. We are living examples. All right. God is faithful. He will provide for your children. Trust Him. Do it His way. It's a beautiful thing. Think about legacy. Think about the big picture. Think about all the great things God's going to do through your family. Love you guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it encourages you. Leave some comments below. We want to hear what you guys got to say
Be
about
real.
this.
Keep it 100.
Keep it 100. Let us know what you're thinking. Love you guys. Life with the Masons. We out.